Every November, the bighorn rams descend down into the canyon from the higher elevations, and the Colorado photographers gather to witness the spectacle that is the proving grounds in Waterton Canyon. In this video, I spend 2 days during the peak of the rut to see love and tension play out in real time. It's the Bighorn Rut 2024 in Waterton Canyon. My preferred method of transportation to get in and out of the canyon is the old-fashioned bicycle, because sometimes the action will be 5 to 6 miles deep in the canyon. It's a long walk, and it's a very pretty walk, as you can see here, but I like going by bike. But on this day, I did not need to ride 5 to 6 miles in. At about 2.5 miles, I heard rocks falling down the cliffs, so I stopped and looked up, and here was my first action of the day. These 3 frisky rams had cornered this poor ewe, and I don't really think she looked too impressed. She jumped down to try to get away from all of their advances, but unfortunately went around a corner and got trapped again. These guys were relentless. No matter where she ran off to, these 3 guys would chase her down and trap her. You can see here, one even tried mating with her, but she wasn't having any of it. She ran again. And of course, the onlookers down below next to me were rooting her on, and you know, I don't blame them. What was interesting about this situation is that the 3 rams here are all pretty young. In fact, I would think too young to be fighting for dominance in the herd. And that's when I did notice there was a 4th ram in the area who was much bigger and looked like he would be the alpha. And that's when I realized that these 3 young upstarts were trying to steal her away from him. And again, our dominant male here just kind of standing by. And over again, the female ewe would flee and the 3 prospective bachelors would be in hot pursuit. During this pursuit, I could actually hear the ram panting as it ran by. Listen really close. And it was about at this time that I noticed our dominant ram finally looked like he was about to step in.
Is this guy gonna come down and finally take care of business here? Oh yeah.
And just like that, this score is now settled. After the clash, one of the bachelors flees the scene. And the other 2 upstart rams that stick around have to come to terms with the reality that this year, they're pretenders, not contenders. On day 2, it did not take a far ride back into the canyon to find my first group. And it only took me a few moments of observation to come to the conclusion that this was actually the same group that I had witnessed fighting a few days before. That white mark on the ram's right horn matches up perfectly with one of the photos I took of the same ram a couple days before. The atmosphere in the group today is very different than it was 2 days ago. Our poor lady here is finally able to just relax and eat in peace. And even when a young ram does go in for a quick sniff of the female, look how tentative he is today compared to the recklessness from 2 days ago. This young ram has learned a lesson. Eventually, this group ended up making its way up the cliffs to higher elevation, and with no action going on, I decided myself to move further down the canyon to see if I could find some different groups. I hit pay dirt again a few miles down the road right next to the dam, where I found group number 2. This group definitely had more sheep than the group before, but the makeup was still pretty much the same. A dominant male, a bunch of ewes, and a few younger rams in there capable of causing some trouble. I observed this herd for 45 minutes and everything seemed calm and orderly until all of a sudden it wasn't. The alpha male has noticed that 2 female ewes had wandered too far away from the herd, so he goes off to investigate. One of the younger rams uses this distraction to make a move on one of the females, but gets caught. Despite just being caught, the young ram makes another bold move, which sets off a chain reaction of chaos. The dominant ram does everything in his power in this pursuit to keep the challenging rams away from his ewes. But they're relentless and they're pumped full of testosterone. They'll do anything they can to get their way. Finally, the chase ends and exhaustion sets in. And for now, order is restored. Yeah, that was that was something. So that is my bighorn rut video, and yeah, it was good. It's so weird this year. When I go out for these, when I go out for the bighorn rut every year, I try to do as much sort of research as I can. I'm always talking to other photographers that are out there, like, hey, are you seeing them fighting yet or not? And, I keep my ear open to all of the photography groups that I'm in. And there's even a dedicated, like, Waterton Canyon, like, Facebook group. And so I try to do a lot of sort of research, I guess, if you will, before I head out for it. But this year, I've just been so busy with work. Corporate Scott has been too busy. That's evil Scott. Corporate Scott is definitely evil Scott, but unfortunately, evil Scott is necessary so that fun adventure photography Scott, YouTube creator Scott, can exist. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, they both are so opposite of each other, but they both have to coexist. So I just have not had a ton of time to do a lot of that research this year. And so Saturday came up. That was that first day that I went in, and I just didn't know what to expect. I'm like, well, they should be running, but I don't know. Hopefully it'll be good, because this is one of the only days I have to get out here. And boy, did it not disappoint. That chase sequence in that first part where the Rams cracked and then that is probably, I think, in my opinion, one of the best sort of action sequences that I've personally shot and then edited together to be, I think, a pretty cool little section there. So I hope that you enjoyed it. And then I was not going to, the second day that I went out, I was not planning on that. I was working, and it was so good on the first day that I was just like, man, I have to get back out there somehow. And again, we're almost winter now, and after work is not an option for me anymore because it's pitch dark. So it was a Monday, and I just really grinded out all of the things I needed to do for work so that I could take off in the afternoon and still have some daylight left. And that was day number 2, was that Monday afternoon, and it was great because it's a weekday, so there was not a lot of people there. And that whole last sequence that I shot was completely by myself. I was the only person there who got to witness all of the chase, and again, the Rams hitting. And oh man, it was magic. It was just magic. I just really, it's so hard to go out and do anything by yourself or with not someone else there. And to be able to shoot that whole sequence and have like a good hour and a half with all of those bighorns completely to myself was unbelievable. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video. And I also wanted to jump in here to say happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you are having a great holiday, and hope that you have a great holiday through the rest of the year. It's been obviously a pretty good year for me here on the YouTube channel. We've grown a lot. I know we're still a small channel, but we are now a partnered channel. That actually happened back in August. I have full partnership for this channel, which was a big milestone. I didn't really ever bring it up on the channel because I didn't really plan on doing anything with that partnership. I could now create memberships, and like you could subscribe to, or you could join my channel, and I could offer like members perks and stuff like that. But I never brought it up because I don't have any intention of doing that right now. I just wouldn't be able to put in the time to get anything special for members or anything like that. So I don't think, even if you wanted to do like a $5 a month membership to my channel, I would have nothing to offer you for that $5. So that is nothing, or so nothing's really changed there, but still, it was a cool milestone to hit. And yeah, so I am very thankful for everything that has happened with the channel this year. And again, you guys always come back and watch. And I know we're a small community, but I feel like I always get comments from people, and I'm like, oh, I know that name, I know that name, I know that name. Like, and plus, I've met some of you in real life, in person, and you know, I it doesn't happen frequently, but I have been out shooting at locations, and people are like, oh, hey, Scott, I watch all your YouTube, and I'm like, oh, really? So I have had that happen where people have recognized me out in the field just through this channel, which is wild and is awesome. So so again, that goes to say, if you ever see me out shooting, yeah, please always come say hello. It's awesome. And yeah, so again, I hope you guys are having a good Thanksgiving, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And coming up, we've got, before the end of the year, a couple of video ideas. I have not shot any of them yet, so that is going to be what determines the next couple of videos. This weekend, this long holiday weekend, I will be out for multiple things. I am going out on a DFO birding trip, so I might shoot some stuff for that. And then I also am going to the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, which I have not been to since late summer. So I definitely want to get a Arsenal video up. So I am going to do that this weekend as well. I may sign up for a Christmas bird count outing somewhere. So I don't know. That could be a cool video just to go out for the Christmas bird count. But again, I don't know. I haven't signed up for one yet. And lastly, on January 1st, on New Year's Day, I will be going out for a big day birding outing, because that is a big day for birders, because they like to go out on the first of the year and try to get out early and see as many species as they can. So that way, on the first of the year, they're already loading up their year lists, and it's kind of a fun thing to just see how many species you can get on January 1st. So I will be out for that. And then after that is Ecuador. So that is becoming very real. I'm starting to get pretty anxious about it. Travel makes me anxious, but I'm also very excited for it too. Yeah, that is the middle of January, towards the end of January. I will be in Ecuador. I think I will probably make a video about all of the gear I'm taking to Ecuador on my trip, because I think I've got a pretty good idea of how I'm going to, or what I'm going to take, gear-wise, so like camera-wise, stuff like that. So I'd like to make a video about that. But anyways, that's it for this. I will see you in the next video, which probably will be the Rocky Mountain Arsenal video coming up. But thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.